Welcome to the Heart, Mind, Body Collective podcast, where heart, mind, and body meet and practice. This podcast has been created for those who are passionate about personal and professional growth, emotional well-being, connection, relationships, and self-mastery. Through conversations with practitioners, hypnotherapists, healers, educators, coaches, and thought leaders, we dive deeper into understanding the human experience. Your host is Rebekah Fisher, doula, hypnotherapist, relationship and mindset coach.
So, hi, Justine. Nice to see you. Thank you for doing this today. And would you like to let everybody know a little bit about yourself and what you do, who you are, and what led you to becoming a hypnotherapist? And I also know that you do a little bit more than that as well in terms of run various training bodies as well. So, I'd love you to speak about that.
Cool. Hi, everyone. So my name's Justine Lette and I'm based in New Zealand. I'm based in a very tiny little town in the middle of New Zealand by the snow for anyone that comes here and goes skiing in the North Island. So what I do is one of my things I do is I am a hypnotherapist. I have my own private clinic and I work with people, mostly trauma work. I work with people with ADHD is one of the big things. I have referrals coming to me for ADHD. And on the side, I do some kind of spiritual fun stuff as well. So that's my, as we always do. That's
As
my
we
private,
do.
yeah. And I also run a training institute, a training school
Yes.
where I teach a clinical hypnotherapy diploma. So it's quite a big diploma. It goes into like all the different styles of hypnosis. It deep dives into what actually is hypnosis and how it works, not just scripts and practices, because I'm really interested in consciousness and what is perception and
Yes.
what is reality. And I also teach another process called Simpson Protocol, which is a really cool deeper style of hypnosis that uses what we call superconscious. So that's getting more that open-minded stuff. And
I love that process.
yeah, it's really, really cool. And then I teach things like I've got my own protocols for working with trauma. So when I do a lot of speaking around the world and here in New Zealand, and I go into organizations and teach organizations how to work with trauma and memories, but working with
That's amazing.
people, working with people who've had quite complex traumatic experiences, but teaching people how to work in a way where we work with the experiences they're having today and their nervous system responses. And we work with
Yes.
what we're working with today, switching those responses off, work with the past experiences, but without having to retell our stories or live it. So a lot
Yeah.
of the
That's so
work that I
important.
teach is around working safely with trauma. And and I'm the head of Hypnosis New Zealand. So I run an association that's I've been running it for 10 years. And what that does in New Zealand is it's unregulated in New Zealand. So it's a regulating body where we have hypnotherapists coming in, the people that are wanting to be registered members of HNZ, there's a high criteria to get in. So we do things like
Yeah.
police checks, and people have to have a certain amount of a level of training, and they have to have supervision and things like that. And because of that, we're managing to get hypnotherapy a little bit more mainstream in New Zealand, put it that way. So we're having places coming on board that in the past wouldn't have looked at hypnotherapy. So that's one of the strands, and that of course comes with doing supervision for people. So the whole over branch is working with consciousness and perception, but it's kind of like different areas of it, the fun ones and then the very clinical boring ones that you just have to do. But so that's kind of what I do. I do have two daughters, 26 and 16, and they're good adult children.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So yeah, that's pretty much me, what I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And how did you get into it? Like, what led you
Yeah.
into the
So what
field
led me to,
itself?
as most of us,
Mm.
my whole life was, apart from teaching music, because I always taught music up about to the age of say 38, 40. So that was an undercurrent thing that I did. On top of
Oh,
that, I
wow.
always, I worked for myself. So I went through the usual, as we do, massage therapy, different healing modalities,
Yes.
going from the body, going into the mind, and learning
Yes.
different types of mind techniques. And then from there, I stumbled across past life regression first. That was
Okay.
really interesting, which then led me into what is actually going on with consciousness in the mind, and that got me into
Yes.
hypnotherapy. So I didn't get into hypnotherapy because I went to a hypnotherapist and it helped me.
Yes.
That wasn't my experience on the way in. My experience was 100% being really curious about the mind body connection, being spiritually minded, or having lots of experiences that can't be explained, seeing people with mental health conditions like dissociative disorder, so seeing people's personalities, seeing the experience and things I'd seen through life made me want to find out what was going on in the mind and body, and especially with
Yeah.
consciousness. Yeah, and from there it's been a lot of study and a lot of learning. I've learned more from my clients than I have from trainings, as we do. I've learned
Yes.
more
Yeah.
from horses, I'll tell you what, than any
I
training
was.
I've ever done. Do you know what I mean? Because their minds work
Yes.
very quickly. And through that, yeah, I've had lots of different experiences now. And so I share them with my students. But like I said, really trying to understand what is going on, what is this reality that we live in. And that's where I sit. So yeah, getting into this, it was more a journey of exploring than having a profound experience and then wanting to be that, going to a hypnotherapist and going, oh, I want to be one now. I didn't come in
Yeah.
that way. I came in a different
Yeah.
angle, but like I said, still learning, and I still have things happen in the clinic where they make me think at night, okay, how does this fit into my view of reality today? I have to change it again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Clients are forever shifting your perspective.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you have crazy things happen, I have to work out, okay, in a science model, how would this work? And in a spiritual model,
Yes.
how would this work? And where do I sit on both angles,
Yes.
or blending them together, as we say? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's fascinating to explore all the various realms of consciousness. So that's certainly how I got into this,
Yeah.
studying consciousness. And then I became a hypnotherapist. I was like, oh, this kind of can help build a bridge and people can access a particular level in themselves.
Yeah,
It felt like
literally.
the right thing to do at the time. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. So, oh, that's fascinating. And I know a little bit about SP because I've studied that with you.
Yeah.
I just thought fully self-disclosed there, and I found that to be a really beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's also quite powerful and
Yeah.
very
So,
direct
yeah.
in ways that other types of hypnotherapy, it's very different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
So if you could speak about that, I
Yeah.
would really love you
Oh,
to, share
it's
that with others.
yeah. So P is a deeper style of hypnosis. And what I've been
Mm,
looking into recently is the different styles of hypnosis, or the different styles of influence, and why they work and how they work. And
yes.
there are different types of hypnosis. So a lot of the time, if I'm working with people in clinic, a lot of the work or the change work is done in the interview, just through, shifting
Mm-hmm.
nervous system responses, just through getting them to think about what they actually want, through the things that are unsaid. It's such an important part of the interview. And then when you go into traditional kind of hypnosis, which might not be so deep, where you're getting them to visualize things and work,
Yes.
you see a lot of the change happens actually through influence, or through the connection between the therapist and the client. And
Yes.
yeah, so that for the more traditional, for the just standard hypnotherapy that you'd have in a clinical hypnotherapy session, I think a lot of the change work is done through the power of the ability to influence a person in
Yes.
front of you. But then when we go into the deeper processes and protocols, which kind of mimic closer to what you'd experience when you have a psychedelic experience or something, I
Yes.
think when you work with more deeper, or what we would call more profound trances, what they're showing is those kind of experiences tend to give the human mind the ability to suspend belief in who they are, recreate themselves in who they are, in the
Mm.
experience and then rebuild as they come back into this new experience of who they are. And you could also put that into the lighter hypnotherapy, but that transition that they talk about seems to come when people have a quite spiritual or out of body or profound
Yes.
experiences when that change happens. So
Yes,
when
I
I look at,
agree.
things like SP or processes that take us deep or out of our body. So like I said, it's mimicking maybe a psychedelic experience or something quite profound. It tends to work on the human mind in a different way to
Yes.
the clinical hypnotherapy. And I'm not saying one way or the other is better. I think the
Yeah.
way it works with the brain is different. So that's what I've been looking
Yes.
at lately, especially with teaching my students, is a lot of the not so deep hypnosis relies a lot on the power of authority and the belief and the power of influence. A doctor influences
Yes.
someone and change. It works with the brainstem and the more animalistic types of the brain. Whereas this one, SP, or when you go into processes that are big and profound and they take a long time and the person is kind of out
Yeah.
of their body, you're working on a different parts of the brain, different experience. And it's like giving someone the ability to shatter their beliefs they are and rebuild the person. And that's why they tend to have quite profound experiences. And I won't talk about it on air because we're never allowed to, but there's been in New Zealand a couple
Yeah.
of insane experiences using SP, healing
Mm.
experiences that you couldn't find in
Mm.
traditional
Yes.
science, basically. So yeah, it is two different ways of working, and both of them are, for me, amazing because I have amazing
Yes.
profound experiences using memory reconsolidation or some switching off
Yeah.
nervous system responses. But it's definitely different ways of working. What I like about SP is I've trained in everything you can think of when it comes to spiritual hypnosis, as we all
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times you're taught to get people into these profound spaces, but you're not taught what to say when you're there. And I had that when I was early on
Yes.
learning how to do some experiences where they'll get you to this point where higher self is communicating through the person and but you're not taught what to say, and you're like, hey, so she wants to
Mm.
lose 10 kilos. How can we
Mm.
help you? You've got this voice coming out of the client. For anyone
Mm.
that doesn't know this stuff, it's not that freaky, and it
Yeah.
can be explained using mental health. It can be explained in a different way. There's this really unique thing, I'll tell you, there's this unique thing that happens in hypnosis for people that don't understand hypnosis. When we are talking to someone and they're just in a light state of trance, if you ask them questions, they will say, I am eating chocolate because I am
Yes.
hungry. So they'll use the I word. When you take someone deeper into trance, a part of the brain switches on, which is the third person part of the brain. So trance will switch on a part where it will say something like, Justine is eating chocolate because in the
Yes.
past this happened. And now, as humans, it's really unique. I don't know about
Yes.
other animals because I've never been another animal, but we have the unique ability as a human to be able to step back and observe ourselves when we're going through
Yes.
experiences, which is why if we have a
Yes.
trigger come up in our body, we actually have the ability to notice we're having a trigger and do
Yes.
something to switch it. Now, that's not
Totally.
very unique in the animal kingdom because when they have something give them a fright, well, if they have something that gives them a nervous system response, they'll run and they'll do what they need to
Yes.
do. Whereas our brain has the ability to step back and observe us going into a panic
Yes.
attack. And we can switch it. We're taught we can't, but we
Yes.
actually can.
We actually can. I
Yeah.
agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we are doing this kind of hypnosis or the deeper styles of hypnosis, we tend to get into a space where we can switch the person from the first person objective to the third
Mm.
person, and we can actually communicate with that third person. So SP, we use fingers, yes and no, but you can use voice. And like I said, for people that don't understand the mind, it sounds scary or it sounds like something that, but it's not, because the more you
No.
research the brain and what we have inside of us, it's just tapping on different processes or different ways that we have. So SP is one of those, those processes that kind of taps into that third person perspective. And we call that third person superconscious. Now, superconscious
Yes.
is just a name, conscious, subconscious, superconscious. It fits into a metaphor of the brain. So it's not
Yeah.
like this amazing, powerful thing is coming outside of us into our bodies.
No.
It is a part of us. It's just a name. So that's yeah, that's the SP
Mm.
process, really. It's just using, deeper states of the mind, and we're tapping into that third person perspective that we have. And for anyone who doesn't really understand that, if you, like I said, if you're sitting there and you're starting to feel anxious and you're like, oh, I'm feeling anxious, instead of just
Yeah,
running, that's what I mean. We've got the ability to actually
totally.
observe ourselves. And there's parts of our mind that does have a lot more understanding than we do about our behavior and why we do things. So
Yeah.
that's what we tap into with SP. And SP is one of those things that, just like hypnosis in general, if you do it, the more you do it, the better you get at it. So if someone said to me,
Yes.
oh, I didn't have a very good experience, it's actually got to do with working with someone that you trust and doing it more and more, because just like anything else, you become really good at it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I've had some profound experiences with it. And it is like you
Pretty trippy.
said, but it's like it's not an external thing, meaning it is some other force. It is you. It's
Yeah.
your own
Yeah.
innate, the most intelligent part of you. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
and then you recalibrate it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. And you really can. It's like something in myself for years. I was working. Okay, I see you, I hear you, I feel you. Okay, oh, you're still there. Okay, cool. All right, no judgment. Okay, next onion layer, peel it back.
Yeah.
One SP session, it was like, oh my gosh, it was
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
integrative experience. It was a full cellular, full everywhere release. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had so much love and compassion. And yet it was like, but at the same time, it was just this, oh, I understand now.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. It's
all
definitely.
at the same time, it was so different to,
Yes.
I call it traditional hypnotherapy,
It's
but
definitely, it's different. It's like I said, it's the closest one. It's the closest technique that I've used that mimics more of a, should I say, positive psychedelic experience? Because it definitely doesn't mimic
yes.
ayahuasca. Trust me. That's
Yeah,
a different
yeah,
experience again. But I think we're
yeah.
accessing parts in the brain. There's a part in the brain that they call a God spot, that when it fires up, your brain floods with
Yes,
oxygenated blood, and
yes,
which can help with addiction and things like that. So I think we're tapping
yeah,
into, the more
definitely.
spiritual experiences. And there's been some research done. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head. There's been research done that if people have a spiritual belief, so they believe in something higher than themselves, even if it
Mm,
is that my inner part of myself, or me being a part of all that is, it
yes,
reduces ridiculous amounts of reduction in depression and anxiety and mental health crises in people. So
that's amazing.
yeah, so there's been
Yeah,
research into the idea of even what SP can do sometimes is just reconnect people with the deeper parts of
of
themselves,
themselves,
so that they
totally.
know that there's a little bit more to life than the little shitty thoughts
Yes.
in their head. Do you know what I mean?
Totally. Yes,
Um,
yes,
so it does
totally.
give people an experience of something a little bit, you know,
Yeah,
it just reconnects them with themselves, I think, a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, a little bit deeper, which is actually
Yeah,
what
yeah.
people are wanting, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
and can, yeah.
that's that journey to wholeness, really. We talk about that journey or return to wholeness.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
is being able to connect to those parts of ourselves.
Yeah, it's
So
definitely there for it is made and created for more open-minded people, because like I said, it's working with
yes,
deeper states
yes,
of trance. Most people, I never really come across anyone now that isn't
open
somewhat
to it.
open-minded. They definitely don't
Mm.
come into the clinic, put it that way. They're probably not gonna come into the clinic. But in saying that, I do use SP. So if I have a referral for someone coming through for learning about ADHD in the mind and doing some
Mm.
stuff, I generally will do that in the second session. I might change some of the language and the words so that it's not as spiritual, put it that way. I might get a little
Yes.
bit more mainstream language, but I do using that process on people for anything, just because, like I said, when people are wanting to change something, sometimes they have to feel something
Mm.
profound to change. They need to
Yes,
believe that
that's
change
right.
is happening, and you can't have an experience like that without feeling like
Yes.
because you're so out there for an hour. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean? And sometimes it can take
yeah,
an hour and a half, and the person's in
yeah,
trance for an hour and a half. You can't get
yeah,
out of there going, "Nothing happened there." It's because
yeah,
you feel
exactly.
so good. Like,
Yeah.
you don't
Or
wanna
that
come back.
feeling when people say, "Oh, I think I slept through that," or you hear, "I had a hypnotherapy session with someone, I just felt
Yeah.
like I fell asleep." Or it
Yeah, yeah,
certainly is
yeah.
not like any of that.
Yeah, it's definitely,
It's not like that at all.
yeah. I teach my students that if a client falls asleep with you, I teach my students it's an honor because when people
Yeah,
when their nervous system is really dysregulated and they're not, or in life they're feeling really unsafe, then we don't complete our sleep cycles at night. And if we don't complete
totally.
our sleep cycles at night, then our brain double stores memories and then people can, after days, hallucinate. So when you have
Yeah,
someone coming into the clinic and they're quite dysregulated and then they feel safe with you, which is
then they
mimicking community,
yes.
when we used to have someone watching over the community as they slept for tigers,
Yeah,
a lot of the time the brain might actually take advantage and have a little bit of a 5-10
bit of
minutes
a nap.
to just do what it needs to do, the clean up with you. So as long as the
Yeah.
client doesn't know and you just get them to breathe in and keep going, it's actually, take it as an honor because they would
Yeah,
never sleep if
totally.
they didn't trust you. If they didn't trust you,
Yeah.
they would never fall asleep with you.
Yeah.
They
And
would be
sometimes
fully
that's
awake
it,
and aware.
isn't it? They feel safe with you, and that's such an important part of it. Because I
Yeah.
just feel again, and what I love most about, because I saw you speak about 3 years ago, and it was about the trauma informed care. And
Yeah.
because I'm just a big believer in helping people to feel safe,
That's
because
what
I
it's all
feel
about.
that's so linked to letting go and being
Yeah.
able to reset. And it's such an important
Yeah.
thing to
The old
feel.
school, yeah. I think the old school way of working with trauma has been actually making people feel unsafe because when you do have to
Yes.
talk about your past in the hope of desensitizing it, all it does
Mm.
with people by over talking about what happened to me is it
All
actually
the time.
trains your brain to live back
Yeah.
there. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So the
Yeah.
amount of people every week that I see where they've been trained for years to live back there and even use that as an excuse to move forward. I'm not saying that in a bad way because it's the
No. Yep.
training that happens, that the trauma informed stuff is now teaching people that instead of focusing on what happened back there, because you can't
Mm.
change it, whatever happened,
No.
as horrible as it is, we
Yeah. We
can't
can't
change the
change it.
past, but we can change our nervous system response to the
Yes.
world today. So if someone is scared to leave their house and we just turn off that fear response instead of
Yes.
wondering why they're scared, so
Exactly.
that the next time they go to open their door, the nervous system response doesn't come up, they walk outside. By turning that
Exactly.
response off, we've sorted all that shit out without
Yeah.
having to even talk about it. So
Exactly.
the trauma world is changing, but the
Yeah.
trauma informed stuff is so important because
It.
it's teaching people that we don't have to talk and talk about the past to get better, because all it
Yes.
does is it doesn't make you better.
No.
It makes your brain live in the past. And if you
Yeah.
live in the past, it's
Yeah.
a horrible world to be living in, I'm telling you, if your past was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
A hundred
Um,
percent.
yeah, it's really focusing on just getting the body to feel safe. I always talk about, if you got a horse that was abused, would you put it in a pen and abuse it every day,
Mm.
hoping that it would get better? No, you wouldn't. What would you
No.
do? You'd just make the horse feel safe. Any response it
Mm.
has, you would teach it very quickly that it's safe. And that's all
Yeah.
we need to do to our body is turn off our response.
Yeah.
Mm.
Exactly.
So
So
that's
important.
trauma informed stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really vital. It's really important because so many clients, sometimes they come to hypnotherapy because they've tried everything else.
Yeah.
That's,
Most of the time. Yeah. Or for
and then
big
it's
trauma.
like,
Yeah.
and they feel, yes, for big trauma. Yes. And yeah, and sometimes it's the first time they've come and they're able to
Yeah.
relax, release, and let go. And they're like, wow.
Yeah, 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 and it is about
Yes.
teaching getting our clients safe, and it is a little bit more to just making them feel safe or secure in the room. There are techniques we
Yes.
use
No.
to get them feeling safe in the world. For anyone listening that is
Yes,
still
that's
into
correct.
more old stuff, there's more to it, and like I said, I train this in organisations around mainstream organisations around New Zealand, ways of working with the body instead of stories. But it's definitely the way the world is changing. It's gonna be pretty,
Yeah.
the way we work will be integrated into mainstream very soon. It already is.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel so
Yeah.
too. Exactly. It is changing. You've answered all the questions I had without even asking you the question.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess one of the questions I'm going to be asking everybody that I'm interviewing is, what does living heart, mind, and body aligned really mean for you?
Yeah.
What does that
So
mean for
heart,
you?
mind. Okay.
And we can bring in soul too, but what does it mean to live in a
Yes.
light?
Okay.
I want to feel aligned. What's this alignment all? I know what it is for me, but
I'll give my spiel
yeah,
again. I teach students.
yeah.
Our biggest job, apart from getting people to feel safe in the world, it's not our job, sorry, but I think the most important thing for people to become is 100% authentically themselves with a choice in every decision they make.
Oh, I love that,
Okay.
Justine.
So
Yeah.
basically, when we're talking about triggers and memory stuff, I'm not going to go into it. You can find a
Mm,
podcast with me talking about it, or else we'll be here forever.
mm,
But a lot of the time, the choices that we make in our life, the feelings that we have that come up, our nervous system responses, they all lie in the past.
mm,
So what we wear, what we do for a job, who we date, just all our decisions, what we eat,
mm,
it's all based on predictions from our past experiences. Okay. So we have past experiences happening. Even our nervous system responses we know now are built in from
mm.
ancestors. So a lot of the nervous system
Yes.
responses we have,
Yes.
they're not even ours, and we're trying to
They're
find
not
out where
ours.
they come from. They're not. So
No.
so when we're working with our clients, we're switching off those responses so that they have a choice. I'll give you an example. Person
Mm,
who's emotionally eating. There's a whole cake in the kitchen, and emotion comes.
mhm.
They go into the kitchen and they've got this coping response where they eat, and they eat so much food
Yeah.
so that it moves away from the discomfort in their body, the uncomfortable emotions that
Yes.
come up. That's emotional eating. Conscious eating is when there's
Mm,
cake in the kitchen, they feel good in their body. They know there's cake
mm,
there. They go into the kitchen and then they ask themselves, do I want a piece of cake? If
yeah.
it's a yes, then they might have the piece of cake. There is no way in hell they would eat more than what makes them feel comfortable, because the body will never move into discomfort, right? So it will only
Yes.
eat a little bit of cake. Now, if they've got a wedding coming up and they're wanting to be a certain weight, look at that
Mm.
cake and consciously choose not to have it because there's something. That's a difference between eating because past experience is triggering you and having a choice.
Yeah. Yes.
And so for
Correct.
me, when we do hypnosis and when we do work with people, we're getting all those parts of us aligned. So any
Mm,
parts that are coming forward to keep us safe, we're switching them off. Those are past
mm,
experiences. Any
mm.
triggers and stuff we're having to the environment that aren't real, we're switching those off.
Yeah.
When we get out with the heart, body, mind connection, when we can be 100% in today, authentically ourselves, then we have a choice in our life and what we create.
Yes.
And if we do dumb decisions, date the wrong
Mhm.
person, eat the food, we can just sit there and own it and go, that was a silly decision,
That
and not
yeah.
blame it on the past, or not blame it on
Exactly.
or
Yeah.
whatever spiritual beliefs will come into why maybe I'm cursed. No.
Yeah.
When you get 100% yourself and you're lined up, your heart, body, mind, and you're connected, then you can take responsibility for your life and move forward, and you're not a victim to anything. So
Yeah.
for me, being lined up and the heart, body, mind, soul connected is living from a place from this moment. It is good to have
Mm.
future pace and know where you're going, or else
Yeah.
there's too many shiny things that we want. But it's coming from a place where our past experiences don't have to influence us anymore,
Yeah.
which is exactly
That's
how we lived in the past and how we're going to
yes.
live in the future. We're just going through a very rocky mental health world where we've been taught to go backwards and live in there. It's not good.
Yeah, totally.
Not
It's
good.
not.
Yeah.
No. I know.
That's what that connection means to me. Yeah.
Oh, that's what I love that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. That's really wonderful. And
Cool.
so how I'm so grateful that you're going to be speaking at the conference. So
Cool.
I
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really can't wait for that. And the people who want to connect with you, before then that are listening to this now, how do they get a hold of you?
Just look up my name, because you'll find me on
Okay.
Facebook, or if you look up my name on lots of different ways, and things
Okay.
will come through. For the conference, do you want to mention what I'm
Yeah.
speaking
What
on,
would you
or
yes. No,
just
I'd
because it
love for
is?
you.
I
If you
think that,
want to speak about that would be great.
yeah,
Yep.
I'll just give it a couple of minutes, just because what I'm speaking on at the conference is not kind of tied up to really what we were speaking about now.
No, that's great. Okay. What do you?
So for the conference, it's going to be a talk around equipment, which is a little bit different. So there's a heart math machine that people use just to check heart rate variability. So how their heart and mind and body is connected and how it's working together to keep us in a safe place.
That's
so,
amazing.
So for the talk, I was actually going to talk about how to introduce that equipment into your clinic for your clients, but also as a tool to prove how the work that you do is actually changing people. And this is, so when we were talking about SP before, on the
Yeah.
heart math machine about maybe 2021, it was a long time ago, I started putting people on the machine to test their heart rate variability when they were doing different techniques. So I put people on the machine and just did normal hypnosis with them. And like what you'd expect, the heart rate variability machine would go into this nice, coherent, calm, rest and digest place.
Yes.
On the machine, waves. And if the waves are small, people are anxious. And if the waves are big, they're calm.
They're calm.
So when I put people into hypnosis, they'll be calm and there's little waves. But when we did SP and we started communicating with superconscious, the heart rate variability number, which you want high, would suddenly go through the roof. And the heart would display as anxiety. And I was like, it was the total opposite to what you'd expect for someone that was calm and relaxed. The number, the coherence number went way up, ridiculous. But heart rate went it went a completely different pattern, which I think, like I said, is maybe when gamma waves are coming in, which is what we have in psychedelics. And so that's when I first started finding out that when we do these kind of profound things like SP, there is something physically going on in the body that is different to standard hypnotherapy.
Wow.
So that's why now I've never talked about it at a conference before. But
this is
these
exciting.
machines, they excite me because it's, one time I used it on a kid where the kid was apparently scared of eating certain foods. And I put this kid on the machine and asked him something he's really afraid of. And he said roller coasters. And when he told me, the machine flashed red, which is nervous system response. Then I'm sitting there and go, so tell me about this food. Tell me about these foods you don't like. And it stayed green and he smiled at me. And I knew instantly this wasn't fear. And I proved it to the mother. I said, look, we don't have a fear response here. He just doesn't want to eat those foods. So we need to work out.
Just doesn't like
He
it.
just doesn't like it. There was it was almost a smile. The kid was smiling. There was no nervous system response. And I caught him out because of this machine. So like I said, I decided I'd present on it last year. I thought, you know what, this is something that hypnose or healing people will find quite cool because it's different. It's different. And sometimes we don't have these, because I've got quite a few different machines now I use for testing, for testing things going on in the brain and the body. But yeah, this was one of those things that when I do pull it out with my students, if I'm meeting people, I pull it out at someone's place. They freaking love it. And it's even cheap to buy. Do you know what I mean?
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what the talk is on. So it's not going to be talking about, hypnotherapy or that kind of stuff as such. But it's about this cool equipment that you can get for, I think it's only like $300 or $400 now, it's cheap. But that you can use with your clients to show them how their mind works. But also you can test and do stuff, fun stuff.
That's fun.
Yeah, so
that
that's
makes
what the
it
talk
fun.
will be on. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. They've done a lot of work, that Heart Math Institute.
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I was quite lucky. I trained in, I think, 2000 with the guy that started it. Now it's all kind of online.
It's online
now.
Learning.
So you don't actually train with them. But when I did it, it was online with stuff and the people that actually created Heart Math. So I was quite lucky to be in early on. First started. So that's how long I've had the machine and I still like it. I can't say I pull it out that much now because I'm online, but it comes with me in my bag. And when I go to places, I took it to Australia with me last year.
Yeah.
I took it to Auckland with me. I take it and we just play with it for fun. But like I said, it can show people how it definitely helps you understand what you're doing with your clients, and it can help the client by visually seeing.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So it's a bit of fun.
Yeah, fun and
Yeah.
evidence.
Yeah. It's definitely fun. I put someone on there. If people do believe in the channeling things, I put someone on there
Yes. Oh
channeling,
my
and I
gosh.
it's just different. Trust me,
Really?
it's
Oh
different,
my
and you can't fake
gosh.
different on these machines. You can't
No.
fake things because
That's yeah.
there was some weird shit going on. Yeah,
Oh, that's amazing.
yeah,
Oh, I'll have to have a go when I get
yeah. It's really cool.
here.
But it's yeah, and I did get permission from them to speak, so I did talk to them about whether I can, because it is equipment that I didn't create or anything, but for me to teach
Yeah.
people how to use it and to talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I had quite a few friends in the early days of it that
Yeah.
they went and did some training there. So I'm familiar with it,
Yeah.
things like that. But oh,
Pretty
this has
cool for
been
us.
wonderful. I think it is going to be cool for us. I think that's wonderful. Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
And this is very exciting. And I feel people will get a lot out of this anyway, out of our conversation. And I'm looking forward to having you at the conference. And
It'll be
yeah,
lots of
and
fun.
it's going to be a lot of fun. I think we've got a lot of beautiful speakers, and it's going to be amazing. So, and I'd love to have you back again and talk more on the podcast side of things. So that
Yeah.
would be great.
We can go real
More
spiritual one day
Yes, exactly.
for another day. Yeah.
That's for another day. I know. Gosh, I spent the first 5 years of my life in New Guinea, and I used to trance out to the drums,
Yeah,
tribal
yeah.
drums. So yeah, I love it. I love all things, that whole journey of consciousness. I've
Yeah.
actively been I guess a seeker since I was 18. So yeah, that we definitely have so much to talk about. So
Yeah.
thank you.
You're
Thank you
very
so
welcome.
much. Thank you, Justine.
Cool. I'll see you guys in September.
Yeah.
October.
October. Oh,
October.
and then you've got another conference too. You're running a conference.
Not
Is
this
it
year.
this next year?
Next year, possibly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right.
Watch the space for that one.
Watch
In New
this
Zealand,
space,
not
people.
Australia. Yeah.
Yes, that's right, in New Zealand. Yes. All right.
Cool.
Thank you so much.
See you later. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us on the Heart, Mind, Body Collective podcast. If today's conversation resonated with you, we'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who might need to hear it. You can connect with your host, Rebekah Fisher, at rebekah-fisher.com and explore more at heartmindbodycollective.org. Until next time, keep exploring your heart, mind, and body.